There are people in your life right now who wear smiles like masks, who laugh at your jokes, who hug you like they care. But every time they leave, something inside you feels smaller, weaker, emptier. You brush it off. You tell yourself, I'm just tired, or it's been a long day, Sukya. But deep down, you know there's something off about them, something that makes your stomach twist, something that feels wrong. I'm not talking about cartoonish demons with horns and red skin. I'm talking about real-life demons, human shells carrying something darker inside, creatures that feed not on flesh, but on your energy, your happiness, your sanity, until there's nothing left but the version of you they've created. And the most dangerous part, they don't come screaming into your life. They sneak in quietly. They start as friends, partners, family members, even mentors. At first, you think they're the best thing that's ever happened to you. By the time you see their true face, they've already built a cage around your mind. In this video, I'm going to reveal 5 chilling signs you might be dealing with, one of these human demon signs most people miss until it's too late. And trust me, recognizing them early could save years of your life. Don't skip around. Demons thrive in the gaps of your attention. They want you distracted, half listening, missing the very clues that could set you free. If you're short on time, increase the speed, but hear every word. Because one of these signs might explain exactly why you've been feeling drained, confused, or trapped, and it might even reveal who's been pulling your strings all along. Let's begin. Sign 1. The energy drainer. Have you ever walked into a room feeling fine, only to leave an hour later feeling like you've been awake for 3 days straight? Your head's heavy. Your mood's in the gutter. Your body feels like it's been through a marathon you don't remember running. If that keeps happening around a specific person, you might not just be dealing with a negative person. You might be dealing with an energy-feeding demon. These people aren't content to share joy or conversation. They feed on the life force you carry, and they're masters at getting it without you realizing it. They might come to you in distress, venting about their latest crisis. And because you care, you listen. You comfort them. You give, and then give some more. By the end, they're smiling, lighter, even joking again. But you feel like you've been scraped hollow. Other times, they'll start perfectly fine, but they push your buttons just enough to trigger your emotions. Frustration, guilt, defensiveness, all of which release the very energy they crave. This isn't the natural ebb and flow of friendship. With healthy people, you leave conversations feeling heard and connected, even if you've helped them through something hard. But with energy drainers, the exchange is one-sided. You give, they take, and there's nothing left for you. The worst part, many of them don't look miserable afterward. In fact, they might leave buzzing, talking faster, even humming to themselves like they've just had a triple espresso. That's because they've literally fueled themselves with your emotional output. Here's a test you can try. Before meeting them, take a quiet moment to notice how you feel mentally, physically, emotionally. After you part ways, check again. If your mood consistently drops, if your body feels heavier, or if your mind feels fogged, it's a red flag. A demon's hunger is endless. The more you give, the hungrier they get. And unless you learn to set strict boundaries or cut them off entirely, they will keep feeding until there's nothing left but a husk of the person you used to be. Sign 2. The isolator. The second sign is more dangerous because it's harder to spot while it's happening. Isolation. When a demon wants control, they first have to cut you off from anyone who might wake you up to what's going on. They don't start by saying, "You can't see your friends anymore." No, they're much smarter than that. They plant seeds. "You know, I don't think your brother really likes me. I just get a bad vibe." Do you notice how your friend never seems happy for you? I feel like your family judges you too much. I'd never treat you that way. At first, these comments seem small, maybe even caring, but they're chipping away at your trust in other people. And each seed grows until you start questioning relationships you've had for years. Then comes the choice phase. They frame spending time with others as a betrayal. Oh, so you're choosing them over me, after everything I've done for you. They'll sulk, guilt trip, or create emergencies that force you to cancel other plans. Little by little, your world shrinks. You stop calling certain friends. You skip family events because it's easier than dealing with the drama. Before long, they're your only consistent source of human connection. And that's exactly what they want, because the smaller your circle, the more dependent you become. There's no one left to point out the red flags. No one left to give you perspective. If you want to check whether this is happening to you, ask yourself, has my social circle gotten smaller since this person came into my life? Do I avoid making plans with certain people because I know it will upset them? Do I feel anxious introducing them to others? Demons isolate because isolation makes you easier to control, and once you've been cut off from your support system, escaping becomes 10 times harder. Sign 3. The reality twister. This one is terrifying because it doesn't just target your feelings, it targets your sanity. Imagine this. You have a clear memory of a conversation. You remember where you were, what you said, even the way they looked at you when you said it. But the next time you bring it up, they stare at you like you've just invented the whole thing. That never happened. I never said that. Are you feeling okay? You've been forgetting a lot lately. Suddenly, you're second-guessing yourself. Did you mix it up with another day? Did you dream it? This isn't forgetfulness on their part. This is deliberate, a manipulation tactic known as gaslighting, and demons wield it like a blade. They don't just deny events, they rewrite them. You tell them, you promised to help me move, and they say, no, you offered to let me help, but I said I'd be busy. You remind them of a cruel comment they made, and they claim it was just a joke, and that you overreact to everything. Little by little, they erode your ability to trust your own mind. Because here's the thing, the more you question your memory, the more you rely on their version of events. And that's the whole point. These demons thrive in chaos, and the easiest way to control someone is to become their single source of truth. If you've ever felt exhausted after trying to explain your side, if you've caught yourself apologizing for things you didn't do, if you've wondered, am I going crazy? Take a step back. You're not losing your mind, you're being manipulated. Here's a tool they hate: documentation. Keep a private record of conversations, promises, and events, not to fight them with, but to keep yourself grounded. So when they twist reality, you can silently remind yourself of what really happened. In healthy relationships, disagreements happen, but they don't require you to question your grip on reality. If someone makes you feel like you can't trust your own memory, that's not love, that's control. Sign 4. The two-faced charmer. Demons are rarely monstrous all the time. If they were, you'd have run the first week. Instead, they switch between two extremes: the perfect, charming angel and the cruel, unpredictable monster. Out in public, they might be the funniest, warmest, most considerate person in the room. People compliment you on having them in your life. They make you feel lucky. But behind closed doors, it's like a switch flips. The warmth drains away, the voice changes, the eyes harden, and you're left with someone cold, contemptuous, even threatening. The shift can be instant. One moment you're laughing over dinner, the next you've said something small, maybe you didn't even know it would bother them, and suddenly the temperature in the room drops to freezing. This unpredictability keeps you on edge. You become hyper-aware of their moods, scanning their expressions for warning signs. You speak carefully, walk lightly, do everything you can to avoid triggering the transformation. This is no accident, it's conditioning. They reward you with kindness when you behave the way they want. They punish you with cruelty when you step out of line. Over time, you shape your entire personality around avoiding those punishments. And when they do show you kindness again, it feels like a drug. Relief floods your system. You tell yourself they're back. Maybe it's going to be okay now. But here's the harsh truth: that good version isn't the real them. It's bait. They use it to keep you from leaving, to make you think there's something worth saving. Healthy people don't make you feel like you're walking through a minefield. Love doesn't require fear. If you find yourself constantly guessing which version of someone you're going to get today, you're not in a relationship with a person. You're trapped in a performance orchestrated by a demon. We've covered the energy drainer, the isolator, the reality twister, and the two-faced charmer. Each of these on their own can damage your spirit. But the final sign is the one that can destroy you completely if you don't catch it in time. Because while the first 4 signs weaken your defenses, the 5th one strikes at the core of who you are. It doesn't just change your relationships, it changes you. And once it takes hold, escaping can feel impossible. Sign 5, the soul eroder. The most dangerous demons don't just drain your energy, they don't just twist your reality. They dismantle you piece by piece until the person you were no longer exists. And they do it so quietly that by the time you notice, you're already standing in the ruins. It starts with little jabs disguised as jokes. That's the 3rd time you've messed that up. Guest numbers aren't your thing. Wow, you're brave to wear that in public. I mean, you're cute, just not model cute. You laugh it off. You tell yourself they're teasing, but every joke plants a seed, and seeds grow. Then the comments shift into concern. Are you sure you can handle that job? It seems stressful for you. You know, I only say this because I care, but you're really not as confident as you think you are. How's that? Now they're not just poking at you, they're framing you as incapable, flawed, less. And because it's coming from someone you trust, you start to believe them. By the time the erosion is in full swing, you've stopped challenging them at all. You second-guess every decision. You feel you need their approval for everything: what you wear, where you go, who you talk to. And here's the darkest part. You may even start to police yourself for them. You'll avoid expressing certain opinions because you know they'll disagree. You'll skip opportunities you'd once leap at because you're convinced you'll fail. This is total control, not through chains or cages, but through belief. They make you believe you're too small, too weak, too flawed to stand on your own. The result? You become dependent not because you can't survive without them, but because you've been convinced you shouldn't even try. If this sounds familiar, here's something I need you to hear. The person you were before they came along, that version of you still exists. They've buried it under layers of doubt, but it's still there waiting to breathe again. If you've recognized even one of these signs in someone you know, you need to understand something. These aren't harmless personality quirks. They're deliberate strategies of control and destruction. The 5 signs are the energy drainer, leaving you empty after every interaction; the isolator, cutting you off from your support system; the reality twister, making you doubt your own mind; the two-faced charmer, keeping you addicted with kindness, then punishing you with cruelty; the soul eroder, convincing you you're nothing without them. Demons in human form don't always know they're demons. Some are repeating patterns they learned from others. Some do know and enjoy it. Either way, the damage is the same. And here's the harsh truth: you can't change them. You can only protect yourself. That might mean setting boundaries so firm they can't cross them. It might mean limiting your contact. And sometimes it means walking away completely. It's not easy. They'll try to pull you back in. They'll promise they've changed. They'll flood you with the good version of themselves. But remember, they've shown you who they really are. You owe it to yourself to believe it. If this video has opened your eyes, you're not alone. There's an entire community of people waking up to the fact that demons don't live in shadows, they live next door, share our tables, and sometimes sleep in our beds. If you want more videos that expose these patterns and teach you how to fight back, subscribe right now. Because the first step to defeating a demon is knowing it's there.